I'm anonymous. No suits, no spin, no fancy both sides therapy session. Just a MAGA Mike and receipts. And today's episode is exactly what it sounds like. MAGA Mike gets worst news on first day back. Because the second speaker, Mike Johnson, walks back into the building like he's got control of anything. Reality smacks him in the face with a calculator. So here's the gut punch. California GOP Congressman Doug LaMalfa died at 65. He represented Northern California and chaired the Congressional Western Caucus, one of those behind-the-scenes power lanes that helps keep the rural extraction. And federal land is my personal backyard crowd moving in lockstep. And with him gone, the House math gets even uglier for Johnson. The numbers being reported put it at 218 Republicans to 213 Democrats. And that's not a cushion, that's a tightrope. And if you've ever watched this House, you already know a 2-vote margin is basically a 1-vote margin the moment somebody gets a stomach bug or misses a flight. The reporting around the Hill vibe is brutal. It's a 2-vote margin on paper, and it's effectively 1 vote when you factor in that Thomas Massie, Republican from Kentucky, regularly votes against House Republican leadership. So Johnson's sitting there trying to act like he's steering the ship, while his own caucus is basically playing bumper cars with the wheel. And the timing, nasty. Because for the whole month of February, the way the seats are lining up, Republicans are staring down what amounts to a 1-vote majority. Then in March, if they fill Marjorie Taylor Greene's seat, Johnson briefly gets a 2-vote majority. Then in April, when Democrats fill Mickey Sherrill's seat, it slides right back to a 1-vote majority. That's the kind of majority where you don't govern, you beg. And it gets worse while all this is happening. There's also another Republican who's in the hospital and injured, which makes the vote math even more of a mess for MAGA Mike. One more absent body, and suddenly your entire agenda is just vibes and prayer. Now, while Johnson's counting noses like his life depends on it, because it does, you've got Donald Trump out here doing what Trump does, turning every serious moment into a narcissism showcase. Trump goes to the Kennedy Center and he gives a speech. That basically boils down to, why doesn't everybody love me? And Trump actually says it. He's standing there talking about midterms, and he goes, I wish you could explain to me what the hell is going on with the mind of the public, because we have the right policy. And then he starts whining that nobody seems to like what they're doing. That's not leadership. That's a dude staring at bad polls like they're a personal betrayal.
But they say that when you win the presidency, you lose the midterm. So you're all brilliant people. Most of you are in this business longer than me. That makes me smarter than you. Because look where I am, right? No, it doesn't. But I wish you could explain to me what the hell's going on with the mind of the public, because we have the right policy. They don't. They have horrible policy. They do stick together. They're violent. They're vicious. They're vicious people.
And this wasn't just some random pep talk. This was supposed to be Trump briefing Congress, well, really, briefing Republicans after the U.S. operation in Venezuela. And here's the part that's insane. Only about 33% of Americans approve. 33. That's not rally the country numbers. That's why did you do this numbers. And because it's Trump, he can't just deliver a sober message about anything. The man punctuates the whole thing with that performative little dance, because nothing says serious commander-in-chief moment. Like doing a crowd-pleaser jig while your party is sweating special elections. Now the story pivots to a guest who's basically been a long-time Trump antagonist, George Conway. Yes, that George Conway, who's now jumping into the race for New York's 12th congressional district. Conway's not just doing TV hits anymore. He's running, and it's a crowded primary, so he's not exactly taking the easy route. And when Conway gets asked where we are heading into 2026, his answer is basically Trump is a criminal doing criminal things, and the country is at a crossroads. Democracy, rule of law, constitutional government, all of it. He describes Trump as a malignant narcissist who believes in himself and nothing else. No morals, no capacity to tell the truth, no honor, no decency, no compassion, no empathy, no remorse. And he says the government is being run like a mob operation, for the boss by the boss of the boss. And then Conway nails the point that Trump himself can't understand. People don't like this because they're finally connecting the dots. Everything Trump does is for Trump. The Trump Kennedy Center, the obsession with upgrades and vanity, the 747 from Qatar drama, the constant me, me, me. It's always about making life better for him, drawing attention to him, and punishing anyone who doesn't kiss the ring. And Conway asks the most brutal question, what do the people get? Higher prices, no help. Trump lies his way back into office talking about inflation, then shrugs off affordability like it's not real. Conway's point is simple. Trump doesn't give a damn about people's lives or health when it doesn't serve him. Then the conversation goes nuclear foreign policy as ego theater. Conway frames it like this. Trump wants oil in Venezuela. He talks about taking over Greenland. It's all insane. Conway's line is basically, if you believe in America first, you've got to get rid of Trump because Trump doesn't care about America. He only cares about Trump. And just when you think it can't get more on the nose, we hit the propaganda pass vignette. Trump's face getting plastered onto the America the Beautiful National Parks passes. People start covering his face with stickers because they just want to go to the park, not carry around a loyalty card. And then the Department of the Interior tightens up the rule void if altered. Cover the image and your pass can be invalid. You can get turned away, charged extra, whatever. It's petty, it's symbolic, and it screams insecurity. Conway calls it what it is. The government is all about him. Not the Constitution he swore to uphold, not the laws, not helping people, just glorification and control. He even points to tariffs, how they raise costs, and argues Trump's tariff obsession isn't about rebuilding industry. It's about power. It's about forcing everyone to come beg Trump for a deal so he can feel like a king. Then comes the real pivot. Why is Conway running? And his answer is raw. He feels like he hasn't done enough. He's written op-eds, gone on TV, banged the drums. He worked with the Lincoln Project. He ran a PAC in 2024 trying to spotlight Trump's mental instability. He says he gave the maximum possible to Democrats and to Kamala Harris in 2024. But it isn't enough, and it feels unfair to keep yelling at Democratic officials to do more from the sidelines, so he's putting it all on the line. He says he's not trying to make a career out of Congress. He's 62, a retired lawyer, practiced law for 30 years, a few blocks from the district. He wants to get into the job and get out like special forces. And his mission is two things. First, hold Trump and his cronies accountable through investigations and impeachment. Second, pass laws so the country never ends up in this pit again, a kind of second American Reconstruction. He talks about protecting DOJ independence and even pushing legislation tied to Section 4 of the 25th Amendment, so you don't get a cabinet of sycophants pretending a president is fit when anyone can watch him and seize off his rocker. And then he draws a line in permanent marker. Impeachment isn't a tactic. It's not optional. It's mandatory when a president commits high crimes and misdemeanors. He argues Republicans have forsaken their constitutional duty and that nothing good can happen until job one gets done, restoring constitutional government with people who take their oath seriously. And that brings us right back to where we started. Mike Johnson's majority shrinking, sick members missing votes, special elections looming, and Trump out here melting down because the public doesn't love his chaos, while he tries to turn national parks into a personality cult and international crises into campaign content. So here's what I want you to do next. If you're tired of vanity government, tired of chaos, and tired of Trump treating the country like his personal casino, hit like, subscribe, and share this with someone who still thinks this is normal. Don't just watch. Get loud, get involved, and don't let the noise win.